1.1, tables and graphs of linear equations. An attorney charges a fixed fee of $250 for an initial meeting and $150 for all hours worked after that. What we're going to do is we're going to make a table of the total charge for the hours 1, 2, 3, and 4 of hours worked. We're going to graph the points represented by your table and connect them. And we're going to write a linear equation to model the situation and find the charge for 25 hours of work. So across the top, we put hours worked, hours 1, 2, 3, and 4. Across the bottom is going to be the total charge. We need to figure out how much is the lawyer going to charge for 1 hour of work? How much are they going to charge for 2? How much are they going to charge for 3? And how much they charge for 4? I want you to figure out all 4. So regardless, it's $250 to talk to them on the phone. Every hour is $150. So after 1 hour, they're going to charge you $400. For 2 hours, it's 2 times 150 plus your initial $250. And it's $550. The next one is $700, and the last one is $850. For some reason, a lot of people have a strong dislike for graphing. I think you're making it a lot harder than it needs to be. When I make my graph, what's going to go along the bottom? The hours. Now, I'm not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, just because on my graph here, it's too small. I'm going to make this one 1, 2, 3, 4. I skipped. As long as I do things the same throughout, it's okay to skip around. Now, my up and down. What's my up and down called?
Y.
The y-axis. What numbers are those? So this is my hours. This is the money. The number one mistake people make with graphing. Where do I need to start at? What number? 0. Do not start at 400. The problem is people go 400, then they make the next number 550, then the next one 700. Every single time, it's going to look the same, no matter how you graph it. Do I have to count by ones? No. I'm going to start at 0, but I'm going to count by hundreds. I'm going to go 1, 2. Well, if I count by hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's the largest number I have? 850. So I need 900. Counting by hundreds works because that leaves me enough room. You want to figure out how much room do you have and what you need to fill in. If I counted by ones, you'd be having this graph all day long, writing it over and over and over again. If I counted by 200s, it's going to be really short. So I'm going to count by hundreds. 100, 200, all the way up to 1,000 on mine. Plot each one of the points individually. The first one is 400. So that means at 1, I have 400. 1, 2, 3, 4. For 2 hours was 550. Well, that's 4 right here. 5.5. Good. Someone said it's in between. Too many people want to do this every time. Count over 4, up 5. That works, but I used the previous point to help me out. I know this was 400, so only one more is going to be 500. What's the next one? 700. So if I skip over, that's 3, that's 6, that's 7. And what's our last point? 850. If you made your graph neat enough, you should notice something. It makes a straight line. You should be able to take and draw a straight line through this point. Do you know what this is called? A float? Slope? This is This is a linear equation because it makes a line. We need to write a linear equation. Now, linear equations are like y equals something x something something. Y equals, because that's going to tell me my up and down. What's happening no matter what? What's happening if technically I don't work with the lawyer? How much do I owe him? If I just call him on the phone? $250. So regardless, it's $250. Now, notice how I threw that on the end. You can put it in the beginning, I throw it on the end. What's happening every single time? It's up 150. If I look right here, what happens in between every single step? It is 150 every single time. If it happens every single time 150, that's linear. So my equation is y equals 150x plus 250. Now that we have the equation, can you tell me how much money it's going to cost for the lawyer to work 25 hours for me? Can you figure it out? I want you to figure it out. I'm not expecting everyone in here to do long division by hand. I see everyone in here using calculators. That's what they're there for. How do I use the calculator to help me out? $150. Okay, why 150 times 25? X stands for how many hours you're working. So 150 per hour, so 25 hours. Now what's the easiest thing to do next? Plus 250. The calculator knows the order of operations. Press enter. $4,000. So if the lawyer works for you for 25 hours, it's $4,000. We have this equation. Y equals 3/4 x minus 2. We are going to graph it. There are two ways to do this problem. First way is what I consider the longer way. The first way is making a table. When I have an equation, I can pick whatever numbers I want. They do not have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can pick any positive, any negative, any decimals I want. I just picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to fill in the table for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're trying it one way, that's fine. To figure out the first one, how do I type the 3/4 in? Okay, 3 divided by 4. Not a 7. 3 divided by 4 times 1. Now, just to say, do I need that times 1? No, I don't need it, but it's putting it in there to help me out. I press enter. Negative 1.25. Do not write negative 1.25. Every time you do that and write negative 1.25, I mark things wrong. What did we have in our original problem? Fraction. So what should my answer have? Fraction. If I had decimals, you're allowed decimals. We don't mix them together. How do I change a decimal to a fraction in this calculator? What is it? Math. All I have to hit is math. Enter. Enter. As a fraction, it is negative 5/4. That's it. Do not write negative 1 and 1/4. Probably in algebra, you didn't use mixed numbers. You used improper fractions a lot more. Now, instead of retyping everything over and over and over again, do you know the trick to have to save your time of typing everything? How do I go back to do number 2? Instead of having to go 3/4 times 2 minus 2. How do I go back up to here? Second, enter. Second, enter. I just keep hitting second enter until I get back to what I want. What do I have to do? Go back to that 1 and make it a 2. Press enter. Now, this is a decimal everyone should know. What is negative 0.5? Not half. Negative 1/2. All right, the next, what do I get for 3? Okay, why do I get positive 1/4 now? Okay, the numbers are going up. What's 3 times 3/4? 3 times 3/4 is 9/4, which is 2 1/4. What's 2 1/4 minus 2? 1/4. It's now greater than 2, so now I'm dealing with positives. What's happening every single time? It's increasing by 3/4. So what's my next one? 1. I don't even need a calculator. I know the pattern. I'm saving myself. The next one, what's going to happen to it? It's going to go up 3/4. Now what's 1 plus 3/4? 1 and 3/4. Okay, 1 and 3/4 means 7/4. Don't use a calculator just because you have a calculator. You need to start learning there's patterns going on here. Now I could take this, I could make a graph, and I could plot the points. What would you tell me about this line? Is it going up or is it going down? Up. You can tell by the numbers. That's method 1. Making a table, graphing this. It can be more time consuming. Any questions right now? Do you want to practice graphing this one? Okay, graph this.